Hello and welcome to this week's episode of Beyond This, the podcast that explores all of those things that are unseen. We talk about life, living, and even the afterlife. And today I want to take you somewhere that most people never actually get to go. I'm going to take you behind the scenes of what it truly is like to be a medium, how I prepare for my work, how I manage my work, and what it actually means to me personally to be of service as a medium. First of all, let's talk about the week that was. I want to thank everyone for the amazing feedback from the last two episodes, especially that I have put out there. I know that last week there was a bit of an audio glitch, didn't know about it, tried to fix it, didn't fix it very well. I am an amazing audio technician for a medium. That's where I'm going to leave that. I apologize. It has been amazing to see the feedback, the amount of people that are tuning in week after week, and the new listeners. Welcome. I know some of you only come for the predictions. I know, but if you stay, if you listen, could actually make a difference to you moving forward. We have control over who we are, how we deal with things, and how we want to manage our lives. The more control you have, the less power you hand over to other people. But it has been a bumpy week. This next 2 weeks, especially, as we lead up and move through the new moon, there's going to be a lot happening globally. I will touch on some predictions at the end of this episode, as I always do. But I want to say August is going to be enlightening. It's going to be freeing. It's going to be scary. And it is going to be a culmination of many, many things. And there will be many, many outcomes. You, my dear listeners, must learn to manage your energy. Those protection meditations I have been loading up, I am going to really take some time this week to put some more onto my Patreon page for those that have asked for different things like grounding and protection and concentration. They will help you. But I am not going to sugarcoat it. You know I never do. There will be some stuff that you'll think is good that will feel bad. You'll have some stuff that will feel bad or look bad that will turn out to be good. Ride the wave, keep yourselves safe, and know that things are moving in the right direction. For me, if you are watching the video of this, I never know whether I'm going to get the video uploaded, but if you can see the bare wall behind me, I have started moving. I don't get my keys for another week, but we are taking down the decorations, excuse me, and we are trying to clean up and do everything. I am currently living in a tip. That's all I can say. It feels like I have boxes and bags, and my eldest son is currently patching the walls where I've been here a long time, where I've had paintings and things up. And we obviously like to leave my home exactly as we found it, given it was a brand new house when I moved in. We are doing all of those things, and it is a lot. And I am very tired. So this is a really late podcast episode because I haven't had time to record. I haven't had time to think. So enjoy this episode. My main message for you this week is to do the work. Please, it is going to feel white knuckle scary during July and August. Doesn't necessarily have to be bad for you personally. I'm talking about the wider world. I'm talking about things in the US turning upside down. I'm talking about a lot of weather incidences through to from now until the end of August. That's not to say there's not more to come. I'm just saying that this is the, if you have listened to me for a long time, I told you the number 8 was relevant. It's going to be relevant. All right, so let's get on with today's episode, shall we? I get asked a lot, how do I do what I do? What's the process? Why do you do what you do? This is very inherent in me. I've had to learn along the way. I've been spirit guide taught. I have had mentors along the way who have helped me, and more on the guidance of delivery and ethics, etc. But I have been able to do this for as long as I can remember and didn't always know what it was, thought I was a lunatic. But I now work. This is my work. This is what I do. And I do it because I'm able to help people. As I have explained many times, there is a difference between being a medium and being a psychic. My mediumship work is incredibly important to me. And just this weekend, I had a virtual event. I host them every other month. I have a 10-person event, and the opposite month I have a larger event. They're really cheap to attend. They're an opportunity to see me work with the opportunity of a reading. It is very spirit-led. If you attend the 10-person events, you are guaranteed a reading. If you attend the larger events, it is all about spirit-led, but watching the love, watching the healing take place. And I also do personal readings, as many of you that listen know. But people see the messages, they see the validations, and they see the tears, and they see the moment where someone hears something incredibly specific. Like your dad is here and he's saying something that validates he's around, a conversation you've just had. The amount of times in readings I hear, I was just talking about that. Yeah, I know, because your dad's telling me you were just talking about that, and he wants to repeat it to prove that he was with you in that room. But what they don't see is what happens before, or really during, and what's going on within me, the medium, the entire time that is going on. Before every reading, every event that I do, I prepare spiritually, energetically, and emotionally, because it's a lot. When I am channeling, when I am tuned in, I am burning my own energy. It is incredibly exhausting. But I always take time to clear my energy, whether that's through, I might sometimes do some breath work. I might do a grounding meditation, and I will call in my spirit team. I ask for protection. I invite in only those with the highest good for those having the reading. And I set a very clear intention. Let me be a service. Let me bring healing. And let me honor the bond between the living and spirit. Sometimes I will light a candle, I will say a prayer, but it's not about the ritual, it's about the alignment. I'm not here to entertain, I'm here to listen. and to become the clearest channel I can be. I have a booking system that many of you have used to book a reading. I never open that. It'll sort of pop up with who the reading is for. And I click on that and click the Zoom link. It'll take me straight through to the Zoom, or if they've chosen WhatsApp, I can pull the number off and call with WhatsApp. But I never know who I'm connecting to. It's or the sort of reading I have, whether it's a psychic reading or a mediumship reading, but most of the time the psychic readings are set on specific days because the energy is very, very different. When I start the session, it's not about hearing. It's about sensing, seeing, feeling, knowing. I hear as well, obviously, but it's not just that. I have a very clear rule of when somebody has a reading with me, you've got to have 5 minutes to connect and ensure that we have that connection. Because without that connection, without the validation that we are connected, there is no point going ahead with the reading. So I always make sure that we have a connection first. Some spirits will come through with just words. Others will show me images. It is always a point of reference in my life, or a movie, or a TV or pop culture. That point of reference gives me that ability to see what they are trying to show me and try and put it into context of what they want me to say to the person sitting. It could be a movie where something in specific happens and I have to try and, okay, so did this, and this happen? Somebody that's really open and understands will go, no, it didn't happen like that, but it happened like this, and I know what you're talking about. They'll give me enough information for that to get validated. You know, sometimes I will smell cigarette, weed, perfume, flowers, a certain scent. Sometimes my heart will start to race and I will get chest pains or pressure in my head or a tightening across my chest or a stomach pain. And I will explain that. And I'll say, that's how they passed. Clairvoyance, clairaudience, and clairsentience, these are just labels. What it really is tuning into every part of me and then trusting what I get, even if it feels strange and doesn't make sense. And it's true. Sometimes I can look very wrong until I get it right through the translation. And John Edward taught me that because he put it into words. I was trying to explain it to someone once and he went, no, I just clicked with me. Spirit communication is not performance. Let me say it clearly, mediumship is not a party trick. It's not like it is in the movies. I can't see a spirit sitting in a chair with a name badge saying, hey, I'm Uncle Dave. Sometimes I will get a name. Sometimes I will get an initial. I will get a song. Sometimes I'll feel an emotion so intense, I'll feel like I'm very close to tears. And sometimes I get nothing but a whisper of a feeling, and I have to lean in deeper. My job isn't to be perfect, it is to be present, to give what I receive, to trust that even if it doesn't make sense right now, that it will. Spirits sometimes show up incredibly strong, incredibly strong. I don't get the 3D often. But when I do, I pay attention. There are moments in a reading when the energy shifts. You can feel it in your bones. It's like the air thickens. Suddenly, the message is so strong, so clear that it floods the space. That's when the person receiving the message says, "That's them, I can feel it." Those moments, they're magic, but they're not mine. They belong to spirit and the person sitting in front of me. As a medium, I must always remove myself from the messages. My emotions have no place in mediumship. I've only ever come close to tears on 2 occasions in 20 years. One of those was a very recent loss that I didn't know about. It was on the day of a celebration of life that they had pre-booked the reading many months in advance, and it took me by surprise. That's what I'm going to say. And the other time was in a large event that I did where it was still very, very raw for the person receiving. If I'm working in a group event, not necessarily the virtual events, but in person, I'll always ask permission to work with them because some people are just coming to watch. They're going to be shocked if they get a reading. People often forget the emotional side of being a medium. Yes, I hear beautiful messages, but I also do feel the grief and the guilt and the love that was never spoken. I hold the space for the stories that have never been told, for the apologies that were never heard or never said, for people that have waited years to hear the "I'm okay, I love you." Sometimes I will take myself away and have a little cry after a session. Sometimes I need to rest. A lot of the time, when it's group events, I need to rest because I'm not just passing on a message, I'm feeling it with the person receiving it. And I never take that privilege lightly. When a session ends, my work doesn't. I cleanse, I disconnect, I thank spirit, and I release what's not mine to carry. I never remember readings. Never. I will get emails, I will get text messages, I will get messages about messages that I have delivered days, months, years previously. And it's not that I don't remember you as a client and that you are not important. It's that I must let go of those messages. They are not mine to carry with me. I take time to reflect. Sometimes I will journal, sometimes I will sit in silence, but I always and must return to myself because I must let go of what is not mine. Mediumship isn't something I turn on and off like a light switch. It's a service, it's a devotion, and a deeply human experience. However, my ability to connect, I will turn on and off as and when it's needed. It is not something that I want to walk around with every single day. I always know a fake psychic when they're walking around connecting with people or looking at people's auras and giving ad hoc advice to people that often don't know better. But I'm very lucky to do what I do, and I know that it is a privilege to be part of this journey for many of you. Grief is such a difficult and multi-layered experience. I have a little bit of a rule where I say do not get a mediumship reading within 6 months, and don't get more than one mediumship reading 6 months, a year. I will cancel your reading and I will tell you that it is too soon, because reliance on what I do is not good for anybody. Grief must take its natural path. Nobody's loved one wants to come through me. They want to come direct to you. And you can see those signs yourself. Before we wrap up on this topic, I'm going to answer a few quick questions of what I get asked all the time. What if nobody comes through? It does happen. I probably have 2 or 3 readings a year where I just can't make a connection. For me, it's about timing. But usually somebody does, even if it's not who the sitter expects. I always say keep an open mind, because it can be your great aunt, your in-laws, your ex-in-laws. It can be multiple people. If you are so fixated on who is going to step forward for you, you're going to miss who is stepping forward. I've had one occasion where it's like, well, that's not who I want to hear from. And they wanted a refund. But it's about knowing that the afterlife exists. And although we do hope for that specific person, and 95% of the time that specific person is the one that's going to step forward, then you miss the journey, because just knowing about the afterlife, having that proof, having that evidence will let you have some peace about that person that you were hoping for. Can you ask for a specific person? You can invite them, but I cannot demand spirit. It's like knocking on a door. They may answer, or someone else may step forward first, and then they will bring someone else forward. Sometimes it can be Great Aunt Maud steps forward, and then they bring through those closer to you. They may be the one that's rounding them all up in the afterlife. And that's important to understand. Like, that first connection can often bring other connections through, more than often. Do you ever hear things you don't want to say? I have to, if I hear it, see it, feel it, I have to say it. But I always ask spirit, is it helpful or harmful? And I speak what brings healing, not what causes pain without purpose. That's an important thing. Often in psychic readings, I'm telling people things they don't want to hear. Mediumship readings, because it's spirit is pure love. Often people will step forward that you have been separated from, or there has been estrangement, or they're healing that relationship from beyond. It's important to realize that they want you to be okay. Pure love. It's important to know that. I have never brought anyone through that causes pain. I have never brought anyone through that makes a threat. I have never come across a trapped spirit. But the healing that mediumship readings can bring, the group readings, the family readings. And before I finish on this topic, on Saturday, I did a family group reading. I love them. It's often 2 or 3, sometimes 4 or 5 members of one family who gather for a mediumship reading. And more often than not, they've got a person in mind, and that person will step forward. And I had this lovely family, and you could feel the love and the emotion in that reading. And those last 5 minutes, I'm giving them some information and that they couldn't take. They had taken everything else. They had understood it. They had understood the message. Her personality came through. It was beautiful. And I'm trying to give them a birthday cake, and they are going, no, there are no birthdays in July. I'm like, I've got to wish someone a happy birthday. Totally oblivious. And they said there's nobody's birthday in our family in July. There's lots in June, there's lots in August. And I, being me, says, if I'm giving it by spirit, I cannot take it away. I have to give it to you. Please write it down. Because more often than not, people forget when they're in that moment. And I got off the call. It was an early call for me. I made myself a coffee, sat down, started scrolling through my phone, and a memory popped up. And that birthday cake was for me because it was actually my mother's birthday. And I had forgotten. So she was reminding me from beyond. So that's what happens behind the scenes. That's what it's like for me. Behind the voice, behind the smile, behind the messages. There's a dance happening between the living and the dead. And I am simply the space where it meets. Your loved ones show up for you. I am only as good as the messages that they want you to know that you can validate. I hope this has helped you understand mediumship on a deeper level. Please share it. Please leave a review or message me with your thoughts. Your reviews really help me get into the algorithm of Spotify or Apple or wherever you may listen to this podcast. We are reaching so many countries. It is amazing. And I am always shocked at how many people listen to me because my own kids don't listen to me. So, next up, we are going to do our Patreon shout outs for this week. So if you don't know about Patreon, it is an amazing platform that I do upload a lot more in-depth content. I answer your questions on Q&As, specific podcast episodes. There are multiple times a month to meet with me, as well as live chats and live videos that I will do throughout the month. As well as that, if you are a $15 and up member, you get significant discounts on readings, early access to all of my events and readings, as well as the discounts. So pop along and find out more. The $5 level gives you access to my newsletter, and you sponsor this podcast, as well as the chats you get access to. Don't forget to join up if you can. It really is an amazing community. The Patreon membership sponsors this podcast, so you don't have to listen to ads. And it is just a wonderful place to hang out. And we do have some fun, and we talk about grey sweatpants. So the thank yous for this week are Nicola, Laura, Burke, who has joined for a year. Thank you very much, Burke. Shelby, Auntie M, Nori JJ, Brittany Baby, and Cameo White. I am just about to release a new How to Listen to Your Spirit Guides course workshop that will be out. I think it's already out. It's in August. So that is on my website. There is a 10-person reading in August. That is on my website. There is also a new event that is about to be released. It is 30 minutes of manifestation and meditation to help you manifest and meditate your way to your greatest good and all those things that you want, putting it out to the universe. $30 for 30 minutes. That's $30 Australian, which I think is about $15 US. That is about to hit the Patreon this week. So join up and have a look at that. All right, my loves, we're going to talk about some events that are unfolding as we speak next. Lots and lots of things happening. I am going to make a specific video for Patreons this week about what I see coming in, especially for August. It is dicey. It is bumpy. There will be changes to governments globally. We're not just talking about the United States. We are going to talk about globally. Weather-wise, we're going to be hit by a lot of volcanic activity, of volcanoes underwater, as well as in different parts of the globe. Japan, I am seeing tsunami alerts, if not a very large tsunami. I am still seeing that water event happening in Thailand. That has not happened yet. The United Kingdom, I feel by the end of August, there will be something that comes out about Keir Starmer that will blow your mind. It may be the end of his or on the way to his leadership. That will be in question. In Australia, we're going to see some bumpy plane problems, emergency landings. There may even be a plane accident at an aviation show or similar. I also see whales coming up on shore, like a mass beaching of whales that can happen. Not whales, everyone, whales. That can happen maybe in the west of the country, but we could also see it very unusually in the east as well. It could be both sides. It feels like the sea creatures are picking up on what's going on underwater because there's a lot of activity with the earth moving. We are likely to see a significant earthquake in Russia. We have seen rumbles. I think they could be hit with a 7 very, very soon. Trump's health. Told you it was vascular issues. I've been saying vascular issues since 2022. I'm trying to collate every single video in which I said kidney vascular. He is very likely to be in heart failure at the moment or very, very bad heart disease. Honestly, I think that he will be unseated very soon. I don't like giving a date. Very soon could be any time between now and the end of the year, but I have given everybody the number 8 to look out for. In the US, there is going to be more riots, mass arrests that might not be connected to the riots. I need to leave that there and say it in that way. Mass arrests that may not be connected to the riots, and an outage of a booking system, plane system. Now, I know we've had the one with Alaska. I'm not talking about that. It feels like there's another plane management system now that could also be global. One airline, and that's a global airline, not just in one place, is going to have issues with its booking system and will cause mass travel chaos. That's about it for what I see coming in. I am going to make a Patreon podcast that will go out sometime this week that'll be a bit more in depth. As well as that, I am working on the newsletter and the coming events. I am moving house next week. There is unlikely to be a podcast next week and the week after. If I can get one in the can before I move, I will. I am not making any promises. So if you wake up on a Wednesday morning and there is no podcast, I apologize. I am trying my best. Honestly, my house is just a shit show at the moment. I can't. And I talk about Mercury retrograde. I thought my settlement was Friday this week. No. So I had the whole weekend planned, and my kids and the trucks they've got and the big cars lined up to sort of empty the garage so that I had more space and get stuff over to the house. And I'm also selling furniture, and it's, I'm moving to a cottage. Much of my furniture will not suit my cottage, and it's just like madness. and I missed an email to say I was settling on the Monday, not the Friday. So Mercury retrograde for the win. Also, I promised her a shout out, and if anyone is in her Patreon, you have to let her know that I did this, okay? Laurie Rivers, months and months and months ago, before I even found this house, told me that I would have a house I would have my heart set on, and I would move in August, and it wouldn't come quick enough. All right, you can just tell her she's right, all right? You can just tell her she's right. She needs, I've got to give her a public shout out. So go and tell her that that Matilda gave her a shout out on the podcast because she was right about the house. She was right about how I'd feel, and she was right about how it would all play out. And it's exhausting. And I am never, ever moving again. This is my forever home. They are going to have to carry me out of this house in a box. Lots of love to everyone. My whinge is over. Be careful of your energy. New moon retrograde. It is dicey out there. Don't get into arguments. Walk away. It is better to be there than it is to be right. You've got this. Lots of love.